What are you doing? It's time for your in the bag.
I'm getting jacked, man. Yeah, last set, and then we'll get right on it. I'm gonna be Ezra Adderhold someday. Let's do this. All right, guys. Welcome to Iceberg / Ice Dad TV. Today, I'm gonna do my in the bag. We've finally been able to do a couple of tournaments, and I've weeded out a couple of discs that I haven't been using. So this is the bag I'm gonna use for the 2021 season. And first off, I'm gonna start off with a bag. If you're looking for a Berg's bag, this thing is badass. Check the Amazon link down below, and we can hook you up with a bag. So I'm gonna start off with my drivers. This is a disc near and dear to my heart. We have the Glow PD2. My son gave me one of the first discs. Still super stable. Forehand disc only. Anytime it's windy and I'm going into a headwind, this is the disc that comes out of my bag. It just feels so good in the hand. The plastic, the feel, just such a great forehand disc. Moving on. Another disc that my son introduced me to is the Wraith. This disc I've been throwing forehand and I've been throwing backhand. It's a little less stable than the PD2. Can throw it in a little bit of a headwind. I can throw it in a tailwind. I can't get it to really turn. It has a nice reliable fade at the end. But this Innova Wraith, Star Wraith, is a really, really good disc. The more I throw it, the more I like it. Alright, now we get to my workhorse driver. I've been throwing this disc a lot. It's the Westside King. I got this disc a long time ago, and this thing has been in and out of my bag a couple of times, but I've decided this is my main driver right here. This is my workhorse. So as long as it's not a super heavy headwind, this disc really flies well. I can get it to turn a little bit. Always has a nice reliable fade. Yeah. So this right here is my workhorse driver. I love this thing. And if you want to know the weights, sometimes I write the weights on here. So this one's 174 grams. Max weight on this Wraith as well, 175 grams. And also the PD2, max weight 175. In case you're interested. Then this is a new addition to my bag. This is a really flippy Wraith. So this is going to be my roller disc. I've just started working on rollers, and literally that's the only thing you can do with this disc is throw a roller with it. It's just going to flip, even in a tailwind. So the more I practice rollers, the more I'm going to start throwing this disc here. And this is also from Ditland, another present. All right, moving on. I'm going to skip to my mid-ranges because I like putting my mid-ranges in between my fairway and my main drivers. So I carry two. I carry my Buzz OS in 177 grams. Super stable. Love this disc. Anywhere from like 100, 150 feet. This will be my approach disc when my putter can't get there. And in a massive headwind, this is the disc that I'm going to be pulling out, and I can reliably trust this disc. It will never flip. This thing will always fade, whether I throw it forehand or I throw it backhand. So I throw this disc both ways. Absolutely love this Buzz. Just such a good disc. It feels so good in the hand. Just a nice flat top. This disc is money. Been in my bag for a long time. Then we move on to the Fourth Circle Dingo. This is a new addition to my bag this year. We did a review on it, and I liked it so much that this disc went straight into my bag. A little less stable than the Buzz OS. Flies farther. Always a trusty fade at the end. Super good disc. Great plastic. Fourth Circle did a fantastic job on this disc. Can't say enough about this Fourth Circle Dingo. So yeah, I use this in maybe a little less of a headwind. I can also throw this in a tailwind if I want a straighter shot. So, and it's definitely doesn't go as far as the Buzz, and it's definitely not as stable as the Buzz. So it fits that little less stable slot. And I'm actually going to move on to my putters from there. So what happens is If there's a shot that's a little bit shorter than this, but I want a straight flight, I'm going to pull out my Axiom Envy MVP discs. So this disc flies really far, so I don't really have a need for a straight mid-range because this disc goes so far. This is probably at least the second favorite disc in my bag. Super fun disc to throw, super reliable, just enough stability. I mean, this thing will hold a straight line for a long time. I mean, I can throw this thing over 200 feet full power. So that's why I have no need for any more mid-ranges than 2. Super stable, a little less stable, straight flight putter. That's all you need. And I guess I will move on to my main putter. I've come back to the Proxy. So this is the second putter that I had in my bag. When I first started playing about 5 years ago, I had a magnet, and then I picked up this Proxy from a guy at the disc golf park. Putted really well with it. Never saw anybody else use this disc for putting, so I went through a bunch of different putters, tons of putters, PA2, P2s, and I just never putted well. I tried the Envy for a while, but I am back to the Proxy. This is my main putter right here. I love this disc. And I will go to my approach putters. I carry 2 zones. This one I've thrown a lot and is really beat in. So this is the Paul McBeth 4-time zone. This one's been in my bag and is still really stable, but has lost a little bit of the stability. So I brought this zone in for the heavy high winds. So when it's really windy, or I want a hard turn, either forehand or backhand around an obstacle, a tree or a bush or something, this one turns and fades a lot more. Like, I love this disc. So carry 2 zones in my bag, and I don't foresee these ever coming out. Moving on to my favorite utility disc right here. This disc is super money. The Berg by Castoplast in the K3 plastic. I use this disc for when I'm throwing up on a hill or anything with a slope, anything with a fast surface. This disc will hit the ground and stop, and it doesn't fly very far. You can throw this thing hard and it just lands and stops. So windy days, uneven surfaces, this Berg in the K3 plastic is a money disc. Alright, now we're going to move on to my fairway drivers, but I'll start with my favorite one. This is my get out of trouble disc. So this is a Champion Firebird. This disc, I hated at first. Mr. Iceberg said you need to get a Firebird, so I got this one. Found it in the pro shop at the Melbourne Disc Golf Club. Threw it once, gone for a month. It went into a bush, couldn't find it. Sat in my bag like for probably another month before I threw it a second time, gone for 3 months. So those are the first 2 throws of this disc. So it got well seasoned sitting out in the sun, baking in the Australia sun for about 4 months. Found it again and really started throwing it. I probably have better form now, a little better power. And this right here is the disc that I'll pull out for in a headwind, spike hyzer, only forehand. I'll never throw this disc backhand. So this is my forehand get out of trouble disc. I'll do skip shots around obstacles. Yeah, this is my money get out of jail free card right here. Another new addition to the bag. This is a Firebird long. This is my backhand Firebird. So it definitely goes farther than the regular Firebird. I love this disc. I can't get it to turn, but it'll go straight for a while and fade. So yeah, anything about 200 to 250 feet. This is a great disc where you want to throw it into a little bit of a headwind and you want to just have that, you know it's not going to flip. So it's kind of like my end of a Wraith, but it just doesn't go as far. Nice reliable fade at the end. Love the Star plastic, great feel. So that's a new addition to the bag, and it is a pre-flight number, so it's pretty old. Pre-2009, I believe. And I got this from my friend Doug. Shout out to Doug. Thank you so much for this disc. I love it. Then we go. Star Avery Jenkins T-Bird. This disc is super stable. Into a headwind, I'll throw a forehand and I throw this disc backhand. About a 200-foot shot. If I'm throwing into a headwind, I'll throw this. And whether the obstacle, like, depends where the trees or bushes are, I'll either throw a forehand or backhand. I'll throw spike hyzers with it. Very fun disc to throw. I love this disc. So Avery Jenkins T-Bird, also in the Star Plastic. The 150 gram Talon. Surprisingly stable disc. I love this disc. I don't throw it a whole lot, but there are just certain times where this disc just flies well out of my hand. It's always like it'll go straight for 150, 200 feet and then just have a nice reliable fade. Yeah, I don't throw it a whole lot because it's irreplaceable. And it's a fun disc to throw, and I just love having some memorabilia in my bag. This disc, the Night Strike 2 Disc Mania. This disc is money as well. Little bit of a headwind maybe, mostly tailwind, or I'll throw this in like a left to right. I absolutely love this disc. This is another one where you throw it and you know it's not gonna flip. This thing always has a reliable fade. Beautiful disc, love it, love it, love it. And it's in the glow plastic. It's another present from Mr. Iceberg Dylan. Okay, Pipeline. This disc right here, we did a review on it and it went straight into my bag. So this Pipeline by DGA is, yeah, it's in the Proline plastic. This disc I can get to turn like quite a ways. So this is the disc I need if I just want a nice turn and a reliable fade. The flight of this disc is like, it's like the old T-Bird that Dylan had that I threw. I had thrown that old disc and it just had that nice turn and fade, and it'll turn without a whole lot of power, which is nice. You can just throw a nice controlled shot, you get a nice turn, you get a nice fade. So it's a super reliable disc. You can also throw this on an anhyzer and this thing will just flex out. Yeah, super fun disc. I don't throw this one a lot because it's a really specialized shot, but I have that in my bag. Then, right here, this is the 4th Circle Firehawk. This right here is a prototype. So understable. Such a fun disc to throw, and this thing in a tailwind will freaking bomb. Like, this disc is the farthest flying disc in my bag. And even with a tailwind, you still put it on a little bit of hyzer, this thing will just flip up to flat and just glide forever. And have a little bit of a fade at the end. But super fun. This is probably the most fun disc to throw in my bag. I love this thing. Super grippy plastic. It's a little bit floppy. So probably if you have like high arm speed or a lot of power, I don't think this disc could handle it. And you definitely can't throw it forehand. This is a backhand only disc. Moving on to my mini. That's what I like about this bag as well. You can actually put like a full-size mini in here. And I love my MVP discs so much that Dylan also allowed me to have his micro Tesla mini, which fits in my pocket right here perfectly. Absolutely love it. So that's what I got for discs in my bag. Moving on. We have a new addition, which I actually used in the tournament a couple of times. We got the Woe Sports rangefinder. Fits perfectly in that pocket. Whoa! Money! Holy crap. I'm just gonna put that in my pocket. You know you're rich when you're just finding money in random pockets. Alright, and obviously we got the water bottle holder. So for wet and windy or wet days, cold days, I actually have a chalk bag. So it's a Luckstone chalk bag. So it's climbing chalk in here. It's pretty sticky. So I don't usually use it when it's humid. I use it when it's raining, and I use it when it's cold. And that gives me a good grip. And in my pockets, I always carry a raincoat because we live in Melbourne, and literally just when it says 1% chance of rain, it's going to rain. When it says 0% chance of rain, it's going to rain. So you always got to have a raincoat. We have a scorecard pocket. Just keep your scorecard in there. We have another pocket. Always got to have a speaker. It's great to have music in your round. Love having music. Plenty of room for spare towels. Also have a special hook for your tag. For whatever club you're in, you can just hang your tag there and give it away. Got another pocket where I carry a couple whale sacks in here. And a mask because we live in Melbourne, Australia, so still gotta have a mask handy. So yeah, I usually carry a couple whale sacks in here. So plenty of storage. And then also we have the secret pocket to where I carry an umbrella. And you can also fit extra discs in here. So this is my spare Envy. I love this disc so much I have to have a spare in case something happens. Because the brother of this one ended up in a lake. So it's always nice to have a spare. So yeah, that's what we got in my bag. We got our Berg's bag, we have our discs, we have all our gear, and we play disc golf. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to become a patron. Don't forget to check the link below on Amazon. Thank you for watching. Peace out.